In 1979, Scanimate could do this. And the BBC used this for their ident for over a decade using the Quantel Mirage. So, it must be dead easy in Blender and After Effects, right? Hey, and welcome to Blend and FX. In a nutshell, to illustrate a section of my Star Trek VFX History video, I needed to animate a plane being warped into a sphere. And well, I thought I'd share how I ended up doing it. For Blender users, the first part of the video will solve the problem for you. For After Effectors, I'll then take a bit more time to get the animation into AE. Blenders, you're welcome to stick around. To get started, you do need to install Blender, the free open source 3D program. And if you want to learn a bit more about Blender, then check out the rest of my Blend and FX playlist. It's designed for After Effects users looking to expand their skill set. In Blender, drag a box to highlight the cube, light and camera, and hit delete. And then go to Add, Mesh, Plane. In the Properties panel, in the Objects section, set the Scale X value to 2, and set Rotation X to 90 degrees. Hold down Ctrl and tap A to open the Apply menu, and choose All Transforms. That locks the rotation and scale, but resets the transform values. So this is sort of like moving the anchor point in AE. Now the plane is a big rectangle, and we need to cut it up into a bunch of smaller ones so there's something to bend. Switch to the Edit mode, then right click on the plane and choose Subdivide. Expand this tiny subdivide area that's just appeared. Set number of cuts to 50. This cuts up the plane into lots of smaller polygons. In the Properties panel, switch to the Spanner Wrench icon. This is the Modifiers section, and choose Add Modifier. Navigate in the menu to deform Simple Deform. Switch to Bend and set the angle to 180 degrees. Click Add Modifier again and add another Simple Deform. Set this to Bend, but this time set the axis to Z. Z. Then set the angle to 360 degrees. I'll just switch back to Object mode. To animate this, see these two white dots next to the angles? That's the keyframe indicator. So making sure I'm at the first frame, I'll set both angles to 0 and set keyframes. I'll then switch to the printer icon, which is the output properties. And I'm working in 30 frames per second, so I'll change this to match. And if I want this animation to last 5 seconds, I'll click into this box and type 5 times 30, which takes me to 150 frames. Back to the Modifiers panel, and I'll set the angles to 180 and 360, and be sure to check the keyframes. By default, these won't set automatically. And scrubbing the timeline, here we go. Then that's the trick. That's all you need. Thanks very much for watching. A like might be nice if you're so inclined. If you're not sure about all the steps, then check out the link in the description to a step-by-step text guide. I've covered rendering videos from Blender before and covered adding a texture too, but if you're really keen to bring that model into After Effects before rendering, then buckle up, it's a doozy. While you can export animations from Blender for After Effects as either FBX or GLB files, these do not include mesh animations. If you wanted to export the finished result, that's a simple matter of going to the last frame and then going to File, Export, FBX, and making sure Apply Modifiers is checked. Incidentally, if you don't see FBX or GLB as options, then go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and search for FBX or GLTF, GLB's Sunday name, and check the box to enable these options. But even if you've done all that, the modifier animation will not export. As usual, I did a deep dive and tried a bunch of different options, but whatever might work for other programs does not work with AE. You can get what appears to be an animation into After Effects, but it doesn't animate. Maybe a solution exists. If you know, please share in the comments.
That boy is our last hope.
No, there is another.
There is a solution. It is unwieldy, but it works. I can export the animation as an OBJ sequence. This is going to produce 150 separate 3D files. Video Copilot Element can play these as a single file, but native After Effects cannot. So once exported, you have to line them up manually, or actually semi-automatically. But you don't have to, because I already have. I'll talk you through the steps anyway, but then you can just go and download the end result. First off, I don't want any extra frames, so I'll go to the output properties again and set the end to 150 instead of 250. I need to save the project next. And in the same location, add my map image. This is important when exporting. Next, I need to add a texture, so I'll switch to the Shading tab. Then click on the Materials icon here, and click New. I'll drag in my map, and from this newly created node's color pin, I'll click and drag to the principled BSDF node's base color input pin. Any other changes you wish to make to the texture, you should make now. But once happy, go to File, Export, Wavefront OBJ. Make sure PBR extensions in Materials is checked and that the path mode is set to copy and animation is checked. And choose Export. And shortly afterwards, 150 OBJ files and 150 MTL files are produced. Both file types are plain text files. You can edit them in a basic editor like Notepad. For the downloaded version, I edited all 150 OBJ files to point to a single MTL file. But it doesn't really matter, because in either case, to swap out the map, all you have to do is replace the sphere map.jpg file with your own image. My thinking in swapping out the MTL file references was that if you need to make a big change to the texture, you only have to export the first frame and the others will update automatically. So now we have to bring this into After Effects as 150 separate OBJ files. To make it easier, make sure Create Composition is checked. When the files are imported, this dialog pops up. And you can say you want a single composition. Ignore all the sequence layer stuff. We are going to use that, but it doesn't work for a single frame when importing. Instead, just click OK. And then click OK 150 times for the model scale confirmation. When you're done and you've finished icing your finger, you're almost there with a complete plane to sphere transition in After Effects. With all the layers selected, move a few seconds forward in the timeline. This will give you a bit of breathing room before the start of the animation. Then hold Alt and tap on the right square bracket key to trim all the layers. Hold Alt again and tap the left square bracket key. This makes every layer just one frame long. Next, go to Animation, Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layers, and click OK. So now each layer occupies its own frame. For layer 1, drag the in point back to the start of the time. And do the same for layer 150. Then that's the second trick. At this point you could choose to create a null object and make it 3D, and then place it at the center of the sphere and parent all the layers to it. You could then treat this comp as a pre-comp and add it to another comp, and use time remapping to speed it up or reverse the direction. I did find having 150 3D objects did not render smoothly, and After Effects used a 3D placeholder for a couple of frames. So I ended up rendering out image sequences instead of video directly. That way, it was easy enough to identify the missing frames, purge the cache, and render those bits again. But the important thing is that a top spec PC in 2026 can recreate a live action effect from 1982.